I created the full Batman level training system. This is everything you need to know on how to train like Bruce Wayne.
My and soul will never mind on what you cared it out for, what you cared it out for. We die alone, well long die young. What you cared it out for, what you cared it out for. Snow, pissing on the mat, whiskey on the left. Shake it out, light a cigarette. Miss me when you.
Pillar number 1 is strength. Every version of Batman is incredibly strong. For what is required of him to do what he does, strength is absolutely necessary. So if we want to emulate that, then we too have to train for strength. Now don't worry, as long as we're training like Bruce Wayne, we're gonna get pretty close to looking like him too. So although hypertrophy is not the main goal here, bigger muscles will come with bigger strength gains. So how do we build that Batman level strength? Well, the first part of that answer is to track every single workout on paper if you can, every single exercise and every single repetition. The more accurate your data is, the more you have to reference back when you're pushing through new numbers, and there's no way that you can't progress because every time you're hitting an exercise, you have a target that you're either gonna hit or you're gonna surpass and just push right through it and break that barrier. So no matter what, you have to track your progress somehow. I greatly recommend doing this on paper. It's more tangible, it should be more accessible, and it's the better way to do it. By tracking every single exercise and every single repetition of your workouts, your progress is guaranteed. Now, beyond just tracking your workouts, it's also important to be intentional about which exercises you're choosing to be in your workouts. Heavy compound movements are going to be beneficial exercises for you at this stage. With compound movements, you're going to be engaging a lot of muscles and you're going to be gaining a lot of strength, especially if you hit them towards the beginning of your workout. You want to start off strong on these heavy compound movements. I'm mostly talking about bench presses, squats, pull-ups, dips, overhead presses, deadlifts, rows, etc. Over time, if you're getting stronger at these movements, then you can definitely bet that you're going to be feeling a lot like Batman. You're going to be looking a lot like Batman too. Only thing is, you really got to be aware of your recovery, your rest and recovery. So listening to your body is important because these heavy lifts are going to definitely wear you down if you're not careful. So make sure to be as intentional with your rest and recovery as you are with your training and your working out. Also, while the compound exercises can be the focal point of your workouts, don't neglect the cable work, the machine work, and especially the calisthenics to make sure that you have a completely full, well-rounded physique that's functional and performs like Batman's. A combination of multiple styles of training is probably what would best emulate Bruce Wayne's training in the real world. Pillar number 2 is speed. While Batman is incredibly strong, he is also extremely explosive. So to be strong is one thing, but to utilize that strength and size explosively, that's a whole nother thing entirely. And it's not easy, it's going to be challenging, but through training and through pushing yourself, through discipline to do this, you're gonna reap the benefits. A lot of people probably don't feel the need to train for anything other than hypertrophy or strength, but we're not going for most people. Batman isn't most people. If you want to look and perform like him, you got to train like him. The most practical way to do that is to apply speed and explosiveness to the movements that you're already doing, especially on the concentric portion. So when you're pushing through, the eccentric, when you're lowering weight, you want to be slow and controlled, but on the concentric, when you're pushing through the weight, you can definitely be a lot more explosive there. So just lock in on the movements themselves, lock in on making sure every rep is a quality rep. You can incorporate other exercises like sled pushes or sled pulls, sprints, and some plyometric exercises. That will help tremendously. I would even go as far to include some MMA or boxing style training to improve agility and power, because Batman's training would most likely be closest to that of an MMA fighter anyways, if he were a real person. So we really can't go wrong by including some level of combat sports training ourselves. The third pillar is endurance. Now, endurance is probably one of the most overlooked aspects of fitness in the industry, so we really want to dial in on this one and make sure that we're not overlooking it whatsoever. In addition to strength and speed, there are times where Batman needs to perform at his highest level for extended periods of time, and he's got to be prepared. So if Batman is prepared for it, we got to be prepared for it too. There are a lot of entertaining, fun, and interesting ways to train for endurance, and it's pretty easy to add them into your existing routine. It's also probably the most practical aspect of fitness, and it's gonna apply to many tasks outside of the gym, including sports and various professions, as well as contributing to good health overall. So going for long runs, riding the bike, jumping rope, boxing, MMA, and calisthenics with both repetitions and holds, they're all a great way to build endurance. So any way that you can incorporate this into your program, do it. If it's a daily thing or every other day, find out what works for you. When it comes to training for endurance, I feel like the first couple weeks are always going to be it's going to suck if you haven't really trained for it before. You're going to be having to condition your body a little bit to get accustomed to that type of training again. But if you can push through that barrier, that first couple weeks, few weeks, the progress comes so quickly, and you're going to be surprised, and you're going to start feeling great when it comes to your stamina and your endurance. The fourth pillar is longevity. I added longevity because I really think it's important that we look at our fitness journey over the long term, because it really doesn't do us any good to be really strong or really fast if we can't maintain it. Preventing injury and promoting longevity is a crucial part of our training. It means we have to prioritize and never compromise good form, rest, and recovery. Taking rest days when they're needed, it doesn't always feel good, but it's necessary. It's absolutely necessary. Incorporating different exercises also to bulletproof joints and muscles in the body on your off days would also be extremely beneficial, as well as some mobility and flexibility work if you can squeeze that in to the routine. Similar to endurance, it can be pretty easily implemented and incorporated into an existing program. There are some great people on YouTube already who are providing research-backed information. People like the Bioneer or the Knees Over Toes guys, I would definitely look into their channels. It's something that I've been trying to focus more on myself. I already know that I'm going to be training consistently. I don't plan on stopping, so I want to be able to make sure that I'm doing it the right way to promote good health long term. I want to be doing this for a while. So in general, just train smart, stay patient. It's the best way to ensure longevity along your fitness journey. You could be 16 years old, you can be 50 years old, it doesn't matter. Just don't rush your results. Stay disciplined in your workouts and in your recovery. The last pillar, and you might not be surprised, this to me is probably one of the most important ones, is mindset. Like I said, if you've seen any of my other content, then you know how big I am on this. I talk a lot about adapting the correct mindset for becoming the best version of ourselves, so I had to include it. It's essential. It's an essential element of human performance. It can make or break not only how we perform in the gym, but in the real world, in life. We got to be goal-oriented individuals. We have to have a strong focus on our goals and what we want to achieve. Making the decision to chase improvement, self-improvement is great, but what it really comes down to is what we do every day, even when we lose that motivation that pushed us to start in the first place. Have a clear vision of what you want to achieve, figure out what it's going to take from you to get there. Limit your distractions and focus only on what you can control, and just get after it. You got to choose to be better. You got to put in the work, and you have to embrace the challenge. That's the Bruce Wayne mindset right there in a nutshell. I made all of this to be a full guide, but if I didn't at least mention nutrition, I feel like it wouldn't be 110% complete, because nutrition is it's a key player in all of this, and definitely something that Batman would have it so locked in, it wouldn't even be something that he thinks about, because he would have it just dialed in 100%. He's definitely not going to let something like his diet hinder his performance out on the field. So he has to have that completely locked in. So all of this information that I'm giving you guys can be applied to your current program. This is all the information you need. That's pretty much what I try to do, is concise this information for you guys, but I will definitely be putting this in a full-fledged Ultimate Batman workout program. So I'm gonna be concising this information even further for you guys and giving you a complete Batman level training program. I'll have that out. It'll probably be up on my Patreon first. Patreon gets early access to everything, and I already posted this entire article topic of this whole video on my newsletter, so you can still go check it out. If you like this type of stuff, definitely go check out the newsletter. Thank you guys so much for the support. It means the world to me. Thanks for watching. If you have any things to add or any ideas or any just feedback in general, please let me know in the comments. I love talking to you guys. I have so much fun discussing these topics with you guys. You guys are the best. Appreciate it. Thanks for letting me nerd out all the time and talk about what I love, which is fitness and Batman. So appreciate it. Take care, you guys.